I've been off and on homeless for about the past 3 years.
What's happening today?
So I'm moving to my place today, and I'm just ecstatic, man. I mean, I'm praying to God that this is real, that it's gonna happen. At first I jumped and I screamed, and then I started thinking, and then the tears just came out because, you know, it was like just a weight off my shoulder. And, you know, because it's been
There has been a double-digit jump in American homelessness.
It's everywhere.
Highest number ever recorded.
A symptom of what's being called the affordability crisis.
More and more housed neighbors are calling for criminalization.
Says she is fed up with a homeless encampment on her street.
But the only solution to homelessness is housing. So Atlanta decided to build a system around that truth.
This is my last day homeless. Hero.
It's called Atlanta Rising.
Atlanta Rising.
Atlanta Rising.
Atlanta Rising.
Invisible People went to investigate how Atlanta is reducing homelessness.
To come here gives you
Opportunity to stack some money and get myself together.
you were in a tent, and then you went into the gateway shelter.
Yeah.
And 16 days later, 16 days,
15 and a half, 16.
you were here.
Yeah. Yes,
And
sir.
if it wasn't for this, you'd still be out in the tent.
Yeah, I'd be still in the tent right now. Y'all wanna know what I do. Now I'm proof we can solve homeless in Atlanta. I'm proof. I'm a living witness to that. And I can't get no realer than that.
Atlanta decided to move with radical speed. By cutting red tape and having dedicated units ready to go, Atlanta dropped the average time to house someone from the street to just 48 days. The national average, 166 days. And many people wait years. That's the difference between hope and despair.
When homeless people are moved into housing, streets get safer, encampments disappear, and public resources become more efficient. This isn't just a theory, it's happening right here in Atlanta.
We wanted to address head-on the concerns that we knew would be coming related to the World Cup in our community. And we wanted to have a different approach, and that is building on the muscle we have been building for the last 10 years, that rehousing muscle.
Atlanta made a choice to abandon the fragmented Band-Aid approach of isolated charities and costly sweeps and invested $235 million in a complete restructuring. One coordinated system that would transform how an entire city responds to homelessness.
Boom! We set a goal of rehousing 400 unsheltered folks just in the downtown area, and we have hit and exceeded that milestone. One of our other key goals within Atlanta Rising was to develop 500 new units of supportive housing in 24 months. And we currently have 387 units online, and we have another 112 that are under construction and due to come online next month.
So the Shrine was actually our first area that we surveyed as a part of the Downtown Rising. From this light all the way down to the beige building, we had tents, we had people sleeping on sidewalks. And this was the first area that we worked to just build rapport with folks and get those people rapidly housed. I like to think that that effort was a big push to getting to that 400 number, but we built a lot of great relationships, housed a lot of people. I want to say we housed from 60 to 80 people just from this specific area of folks who were camping out in the street.
I'm going to show you guys another area. There was previously a homeless encampment in this area. Yesterday we came by and we offered anyone that was interested shelter placement, and then this homeless encampment was actually closed yesterday. So previously, a lot of tents, a lot of debris, a lot of garbage, rats, just a very unsustainable living situation back here.
So this whole thing was lined.
Yeah, this right here. Straight tents. Like rubbish, garbage over here.
You have outreach, you have gateway, you have Partners for Home. How does it all work together?
It's all a collaborative approach. There are several outreach teams that are doing great work. There are several teams that are providing the rapid rehousing and the permanent supported housing supports once you actually move into your unit. Partners for Home has been great because they lead it all. They are the supporting body that helps us do all this great work, and the process works, housing works, meeting them where they are and getting them into housing, it works. But there is still work to be done. As you can see behind me, 430, we have to make it 530, you know? We just have to keep going and working and getting people off the streets. Housing supports works at the end of the day.
It all starts here on the streets. Outreach teams like Men Culture are building trust, connecting people to services, to housing-focused shelters, and to housing.
Where were you sleeping last night?
I was sleeping in the field in my tent.
How long were you sleeping outside?
Came out of foster care at 18. I'm 40 now.
So you came out of foster care with no support?
With no support. Learn the world, learn the whole world.
That's
Yes,
a
sir.
long time.
Yes.
Even in the wintertime?
Even, yeah, in the wintertime too.
Wow.
I slept under bridges and stuff with a blanket, you know, and smoked my little cocaine and weed. Helped me get through the homelessness.
It's not easy to stay homeless sober.
No. I'm a prostitute, so that's how I make my money.
That's how you survive all the time?
Yeah, that's how I survive.
Now you don't have to.
Yep, I don't have to. This my last day homeless. Mwah. That's right. Yep, now today my first apartment. I've been a long time. I'm so happy. I'm happy. Oh, I'm so happy my life is getting to change. I don't get my own place to live. I haven't had life. I haven't had love like this for a long time. I go up to my apartment and I got my key card. Say apartment. Come here, family love.
This is what I looked like when I was on the streets.
Oh, look what is this?
We are proof
Yes.
that homelessness isn't a last stop.
Yes, not.
That through housing and support, with wonderful people like Stacy
Yes.
and Waterworks, no longer homeless.
No longer homeless. Hallelujah.
Heartbreaking, but so heartwarming. Tammy has been outside far too long. She's got lots of challenges from living outside far too long. But now she's inside with her own apartment and with supportive services so she can start a path to healing. I'm gonna get emotional. Gosh, when she started crying, when you see the worst of the worst homeless person out there, that was me. I was that person, and it's through housing and support that we can solve homelessness.
We are at Waterworks Village, where we house the unhoused. So this property has 100 units, 40 ADA units, and 60 smaller units. 70% of the community will be for Hope Atlanta, and 30% of the community will be for Project Heal.
I had developed a problem with drugs or whatever. In the process of me becoming homeless, I became real depressed, went into a real down spiral, living on the streets, living in abandoned apartments.
How long were you outside?
I was outside for like 2 years. Safe House helped me with food stamps, helping me with, my, like I say, ID, social security card, and birth certificate. Ended up having this housing program thing come up.
Tell me about the first day walking in.
First day of walking in, it was like, I took a hot shower for like, I stayed in the shower for like 2 hours. Like, you know what I mean? That was like the best feel. Like, nobody really want to live on the streets, you know what I mean?
You know I gotta go to the penthouse. How far back? I was homeless in 2014 to 2018. Parents passed away, came down here to stay with my auntie. That didn't work out. Couple of tents for about a year and a half. under the bridge. In the wintertime, it get harsh, oh my God.
So what were you thinking when you're homeless? How did it feel?
I felt alone, scared, terrifying, shit. Like when I make it through the night, the next day I'll get robbed or get shot. That's how I felt. My mom passed in 2010, and after that, about 3 years later, in 2012, my dad blew his brains out.
Are you on disability?
Yeah. I just started getting out like a year and a half ago. Yeah, I like it out here. I'm so grateful. I cry to God so much that he blessed me here, that God got me on block. Like, he don't take my email no more. I'm just straight on block. You know, I cry too much to him. In other words, I'm making it sound funny, but I can't handle depressed. If I be unhappy, I'd be on suicide thoughts. I can't handle depression. So I have to be happy in my mood all day. That's what keeps me going and motivated. But, and it's like serenity here. I'm so glad, I'm so happy here. Yeah, it's like serenity. Not for a bachelor. This called a man pad. See that?
What made me so hopeful is like I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. Cause like I said, I was in a dark place where I actually like even thought about killing myself several times. You feel me? Cause I felt hopeless. But when I started seeing like other people seeing the better in me, like how can I not see the better in myself?
Outreach is so important because our people out here, they need to see you, they need to begin to trust you, they need to build a rapport with you. And if they don't see you and see you consistently and daily, you're not gonna be able to build that rapport with them. And they have to know that you're actually gonna stand on your promises. If you say you're gonna help them with a birth certificate or an ID or even an appointment at the Social Security office, that you're actually going to pull through and push through, and that only comes with consistency of daily outreach. You sleeping out here, sir? Yeah. So you worked with Mercy Care already?
Yeah, I'm working on housing with Mercy Care.
Okay. Yeah, but we want you to definitely get that first, and then we can talk about next steps, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Been to a safe house?
You've been to Safe House? We work in collaboration with each other, so if you're already talking to Safe House, then you're already good. You're already working with someone, okay? Go to the Gateway Center and get a housing assessment completed. That will let you know kind of what your best next steps are. Okay, that sounds good. We'll see you on Monday, okay?
All right.
All right, take care of yourself. All right.
Homeless people want housing. The barrier is not having enough of it. That's why communities need initiatives like Atlanta Rising.
I've been homeless for 5 years. We survive here with a lot of blankets. You see my blankets right here. A lot of shoes.
And how many times have you been in rehab?
Twice, graduated both times, but I haven't been able to find housing. I got clean, but I still suffer from mental health disability. I suffer from schizophrenia, which doesn't help with a job. With all that going, just led me to be homeless.
And once you get out of rehab, you're still homeless.
You're still homeless. Rehab, like I said, it's just a place to get yourself together, not your financial stability.
Because they often say people don't want housing, they want to live like this.
No, sir. Nobody should live like this. Just being given the opportunity to get into an apartment or a housing situation would be vital and key. I would take advantage of it, full advantage of it. Thank you. Y'all have a blessed day.
Was in the Army for 6 years, went in straight out of high school, 1969, and did 2 3-year tours and got out in 75. Went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Fort Benning, Vietnam. I was there from 70 to spring of 72. That's about it. So I'm 74 years old. I've been homeless about 2 weeks before I came here, and I've been here about 2 months now. I'm fairly confident that I'm about to get me another apartment. Things are happening fairly quickly there, just waiting on an inspection to be done. And hopefully I'll be back in my own place soon.
Yeah, just kind of packing up and got the job lined up. I have another job interview today, and I'm hoping that go well because I want that job. Yeah, I'm a chef by trade. And since I've been out here in the street, I went and got all my ServSafe certifications. Without my paperwork, I don't get a good job. You know, so I got my paperwork and everything, so now You know, the paperwork is what speaks, so, yeah.
I told him, you got a plan.
Yeah.
He's gonna start saving up, start working more hours, and you're gonna be able to pay for that apartment by yourself.
Yeah, definitely, very much so.
Oh, your birth certificate, I got notice it got mailed.
Cool.
So that's another thing we do, try to help them get their documents and stuff like that. And now you got somewhere to keep them.
Right.
How about that?
I mean, you told me that day when I came in your office and you said, and I was telling you that I was skeptical, but she looked at me and she said, you sat down in front of the right person. And I mean, it's just been she's been great.
All right, we ready to go?
It feels good to be walking out of here for the last time, you know, yeah. Yeah, I just hope everybody else up there gets some help. And like I said, nobody deserves this. Nobody. You know.
Our previous initiatives started during COVID, and it really helped us to begin to say, who are all the partners we need at the table? How do we leverage all of the public and private dollars and be able to execute on a plan to house a large amount of households in a short amount of time? Those efforts, though, were not as coordinated or sophisticated as Downtown Rising is. We really learned from what we did in those initiatives and built upon it. So we've streamlined all of our housing resources so that an individual on the street can be identified, enrolled into services, and then moved into housing within 48 days.
We have now built a system that knows how to rehouse people who are homeless. We've built different types of housing interventions that knows how to successfully support people along that spectrum, but we need to fund it properly to sustain the work.
You can start to streamline it into this strategy that we know is effective. And you work on the scale that you're able to, but you can build these relationships in any city, in any county that you're in. You can do this anywhere. It truly is a matter of relationships.
Housing everyone isn't just the right thing to do. It's also one of the smartest financial decisions a city or country can make.
When we look at the data per person that's experiencing homelessness, whether it's emergency services, whether it's incarceration, we're already allocating resources to an individual that would actually be cheaper if they were housed.
We're getting $1,100 a unit. One medical room visit to our public hospital, that's $12,000. So if we just keep them out of emergency room one time, we paid for that housing.
But it's not enough to provide housing plus support. There's one vital missing piece to solving homelessness.
We're launching a prevention effort that we've never done before in Atlanta. We don't want anyone going through what can be the trauma of the homelessness response system. And so prevention will allow us to do that and ideally stop the inflow. That's what would be best for everyone. That would be best for the community if we could keep individuals in their stable housing that they're already in.
One of the most successful models that communities need to embrace is taking older hotels and turning them into supportive housing. And we're gonna meet the developer who made it happen.
We are at Ralph David House. This is an old roadside motel. It was built in the 50s, and we've basically torn it down to the studs, rebuilt it, and it's now on the National Register, and it's 56 units of permanent supportive housing.
Just to stand there, Miss Bridget. Without them, you know, a lot of us wouldn't be doing as well as we're doing. So I'm very appreciative to them for the opportunity to get on my feet. And I know I'm somebody, but become a greater somebody. A few years ago, my mom passed from cancer. She died 13 days after I found out that she had it. Since then, it was kind of rough. One thing led to another, and I found an agency to help me out. Started getting counseling. I'm still in counseling. Found out that I was kind of going through a psychosis from lack of sleep. And I came here, and the first person I ran into was Stan. And he was so pleasant. He told me there was a couple of things I needed in order to be accepted here. And I went and did everything I had to do, and I've been here ever since, trying to work on getting back on my feet. I'm currently in school right now. You know what I mean? I'm doing a thing. Hold on. You know, I ain't no slouch, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this. This one's for OSHA, and this is for forklift.
How does that make you feel?
Great. Great. It makes me feel really good, you know. So I got a graduation coming up next week, you know, and I'm really happy, you know, as far as I've come, you know. And sometimes when I feel myself, you know what I mean, getting sad or slipping back into like depression, Miss Bridget is here to talk to. And then there's another lady named Miss Chamika, you know, they're the best. You know what I mean? And they really help. They make your hard times seem not hard. You know, they got a good way to do that. A year from now, I see myself walking into the entry level of my new career. There is no stopping me. I am on a roll.
Supportive housing works to solve homelessness, and some people, because of disability or their age, will never be able to go find a job, and others, they just need some help so that they can go back to school and eventually get a job where they move out of supportive housing.
I have not done one of these projects without seeing opposition. It's really sad. I don't understand it because I share with my neighbors because I live near here. And if we give them housing, we're the solution. If we don't give them housing, if we don't embrace our neighbor, we're going to see this get worse. They're not transient. That's one of the fears is, oh, they're not tied to the community. Most of them have a tie to this local area. That's why they're here. You know, we're in Reynoldstown, Atlanta right now. This is a historically Black community. And most of these people have ties to Reynoldstown. We get a tremendous amount of visitors here because their family's nearby.
It's the best thing ever happened. I cried like a baby when I got this place 10 months ago.
Oh my gosh, what did it feel like unlocking the door for the first time?
Felt real good,
Yeah?
real good, yes sir. Yeah. And the staff, they're awesome.
How long were you outside?
About 2 years. And I ain't have nowhere to go, nowhere. So, boy, it was crazy. I got robbed one time, then a guy tried to stab me one morning. I was getting up to go try to go make me some money at the car wash I was working at. It was really hectic. You know, my god brother used to come and get me on like a Friday or Saturday, and I go to his house up in Duluth, wash my clothes and stuff like that. If I really needed something, he would look out for me. I slept in a tent, and I slept under the bridge. It felt bad because I wasn't raised like that, you know. I took showers. We had certain days we would take showers at Gateway.
So this is Gateway Center. We are a homeless service provider in the South Downtown of Atlanta, Georgia. If homeless service providers or short-term residential programs or shelters are not housing focused, then we're not doing anything about homelessness. People want housing, they deserve housing. Housing is a right. And so if we're not housing focused, then we're just putting a Band-Aid on homelessness and we're not treating it and coming up with solutions for it. You do not have to have a negative drug test or alcohol test at Gateway Center to come in the program. You don't have to have your mental health managed by a provider or have your medication on you. Gateway Center is going to work with the guests to help them overcome all of those challenges and those barriers so they can be more successful in permanent housing.
I lost my job 9 months ago. I found myself under the bridge under Gateway. They were offering housing to the people that are living under the bridge, but they gave me the opportunity to get with Safe House, and Safe House got me this apartment here. And the upside is I'm working again, but I'm just taking one day at a time.
Because when you're outside, it's hard to maintain a job.
It's hard to shower, it's hard to eat, it's hard to wake up on time to get to the job, and it's just hard out there. Housing is is the forefront of me working and me being more stable to where I can physically go out and look for work and be available when the staffing agency called me.
Yeah, have a good day. I was in desert storm search and rescue type stuff. I was a paratrooper and a heavy wheel vehicle mechanic.
For the Army?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Wow.
My mind is free now, you know what I'm saying? It's like most of the weight that I had on me is gone, you know, with me being able to get in this apartment, get housing.
People care about you. Okay?
Yeah. And I appreciate you so much. I'm eternally
Look,
grateful.
if you need anything, okay?
Thank you.
Relax.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath.
Yes.
Yeah, we're proud of you.
Yeah.
It's a big, big step. You got it.
Yeah.
And they'll be with you the entire way. Okay?
Okay.
Anything you need, just let us know. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
What's the first thing you about to do? Go lay down?
I'm finna go ahead and take me a shower. I got some other things I need to do. I got a job interview today, so yeah. Get ready to do that.
Okay. Enjoy your week.
Yeah, I will. Trust me. Yeah.
Let us know if you need anything. Proud of you.
Thank you.
You got this. Got it.
Mr. Bean is one out of hundreds that we've been able to connect. But I think in all, it was roughly about 25 tents. Wow. Just looks so different. That's so crazy. Being able to hand them off to, of course, the housing provider that continues that same trust, that same foundation of, I am going to be with you the entire way. And you're gonna have that support. You're not doing this alone.
Well, it's the support part that's...
The support is huge.
Because we just can't put people in apartments and leave them there.
No,
and
no. Wraparound services with housing is essential.
It's just amazing to see the before and after effects, because now it's not a tent in sight, and it's beautiful to know that all those people were successfully housed.
When people are in safe and affordable and permanent housing, the entire community benefits. Our parks, our city streets, our sidewalks are vibrant.
So this form of housing is a critical piece of the chain of getting somebody off the street and putting them into a place where we can really work with them to get them back in the workforce, get them the medical help treatment they need, the mental health services, the social services, and really stabilize our housing. There's a huge, tremendous cost to America from a loss of productivity, cost to public services, police, jail, hospital, cleaning up all the things that go with homelessness, and we're solving that. And it's really simple. There's no like secret sauce to this. It is just compassion and stubbornness to build housing.
We took you along with us as we met people who are still outside, some that went from their tent to their home, some that have been living in supportive housing for a while. All miracles, all wonderful people. Downtown Rising here in Atlanta, part of a bigger initiative called Atlanta Rising, had the goal of housing 400 homeless people, and they blew past it. But here's the thing, until we fix the affordable housing crisis, homelessness is gonna continue to grow. We need your support wherever you live. If you live in Atlanta, you're gonna find information in the description about Atlanta Rising. If you live anywhere in the country, community.solutions. There will also be a link in the description. Wherever you live, support housing. It is the only solution to permanently get people off the streets and the help they need.